What's up, guys? I hope you can see and hear me. I'm still setting everything up, but it's looking good to me. Hi, guys. Servus, Armin. Liebe Grüße zurück. So, hi, guys. I hope everything is working. Let me know in the comments if you can hear and see me. Yeah, everything is well. Perfect. By the way, I've got the new mic. I'm upgrading my whole setup now. So, as you can see, the sound hopefully improved. Yeah, it's looking better and better. I also got some lighting, not installed yet, but yeah, trying to improve the stuff as much as possible. So today I want to just take some time to talk about the Olympiad afterwards, and there are some interesting things to talk about. First of all, just in general, like how the tournament ended, like from standing wise, and then I want to get into some organizational things, which some went wrong, some went right, but just some like behind the scenes things which, if you're not there as a player, then it's hard to get a hold of this. So I think it will be interesting just to know all of this. Good evening, everyone. Yes, welcome to the stream. Good night. Good night for you. Yeah. Yeah. If you're more from East, then it's a bit late, but overall, I think this 8 p.m. time is 8 p.m. Central European time is still pretty good. Voice is a bit smaller. Okay, that's interesting. I will try to maybe I can adjust it in. I have like some settings from the microphone. I can adjust it later on. Can you get into the time you dropped the watermelon at 2:19 a.m. in Berlin? I don't remember any watermelon dropping. But interesting. I will get into the Olympiad now. But if you have any questions during the stream, just let me know. I think it will also be a nice time to answer many things, because also during the event there were many cool questions in the comment section, but those were things which are, I think, best discussed in a video or in a live stream, because it's just so hard to answer these questions like in a simple comment, because it takes pretty long. So I've prepared some things in my browser. No, it still doesn't ring a bell. I actually have no idea. How did the overall performance of your team compare to the expectation going into the Olympiad? Yeah, that's a great question. I was just about to go here. I hope you can see the screen, the chess results screen. So we finished in the end at 32nd place, and as you can see, we started with 31st place. So overall, the team result was kind of acceptable. Of course, we wanted to improve our seeding place, but it was not like a full disaster. So yeah, we also didn't have such a great tiebreak. I mean, it was somewhat okay, which was a bit surprising to us since we played many strong teams actually. But yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to all the guys that joined. Yeah, I was about to say I was a bit surprised that we didn't have such a good tiebreak, because we played good teams. But what was a bit annoying for us, at least, was that the tiebreaks were calculated on somehow based on how many points you scored in the individual matches. So it kind of mattered a lot if you won only 2.5 or if you won 4-0. And we never really won any matches that high. I think only in the first round we won 4-0, which then was later on quite an issue for us when it comes to tiebreak. How to propose to your crush? That's a great question. I don't think you're on the right channel for that Chess grandmasters are usually not the right people to give dating advice. I can honestly tell you that. Yeah, I didn't realize that Iran underperformed. Yeah, I mean they were on the top until the very end, but I think they lost in the last round this crucial match against who was it? Against Armenia, they lost the last match. And then let's have a look. Armenia, they finished 6th. Yeah, so if you lose the last match, even though you're like on the top, then it makes a difference if you're number 6 or Iran. They then became 26. Yeah, like the last round is just so incredibly important. Hi everyone, again, welcome to the stream. How much time it takes to become a GM? I mean, usually usually what people say is that it takes like 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. I guess I would kind of agree with that. Of course, there's not like a number you can put on it. But what I would compare it to is like a kind of some university degree, like I would say maybe a master's degree, or some people might even say like a doctor, like a PhD, because it just takes so much time and studying. So it takes years for sure, at least in most cases. Great question. They were on top boards. Yeah, Iran, as I said, yeah, Iran, they were on the top all the time. But what's most important in the Olympiad are these last matches, yeah, for the placement. And Iran lost the last match, unfortunately, to Armenia, and then they finished with this 26th place, which I think is also ridiculous. Yeah, like if you play if you play in the top all tournament long, and then you lose one match in the end, and you finish not even in top 20, it's somewhat ridiculous. But that's just how it is. Yeah, about our team. So for those who missed it, we played in the following composition. Valentin Dragnev, our board 1, with 2556. He's now quite underrated. His peak rating was like 2600. And he is born in 1999, so he's still pretty young, and already played on the first board in the last European Team Championship, and he played a very solid performance there as well, against very, very strong opposition. There, actually, he also drew against Magnus Carlsen, which I will get into later as well. And our second board, of course, Markus Raga, who was the first Austrian ever to cross 2700. Now he went a bit down with his rating at 2601. He's also coaching a lot on the side, so it's very hard to keep that sort of level if you're not only focusing on your own chess. And he also had pretty bad tournaments, just like Dominic, and Badetsky was somehow okay, our last board. But yeah, Dominic and Marcus had unfortunately pretty bad events, which just you cannot control it. Yeah, sometimes it's just like this. If you have a bad event, there's nothing you can do. So yeah, that was just an issue for the team in general. Like if there's one player who severely underperforms, it's usually not an issue, because if the rest of the team plays really, really good, then yeah, they will just make up for it. But in our case, I think it was just a bit too much for the team to then like get at least like a top 20 placement. It was just not in the mix for us. Let me just see if there came some questions. Asking a GM for dating advice is wild. That's absolutely true. That's true. I will tell more about the Bermuda party later. Yeah, I also have the recap from there on my YouTube channel. So if you missed that, don't forget to check it out. There I recorded some videos also from the party, but I will also get into that later. That's for sure. How many rating points I gained in this tournament? It was, let me see, 13.1. So let's just get into my performance, and then we go back. I performed with 2599 in the end. By the way, for people who don't know, you need 2600 performance for a Grandmaster norm. Okay, of course, for me it doesn't matter anymore. But you need 2600 for a Grandmaster norm performance. You need this 3 times, yeah? So you need 3 times a tournament with 2600 performance. And now it would seem, probably for many people, that I wouldn't have scored a GM norm. But actually, you can increase the rating of one opponent to 2200. So my first opponent, he was 2030 rating, so I could set up the rating to 2200, so I would have even scored a GM norm. Not that it matters, but just an interesting note on the side. And yeah, I won 13.1 rating, which I'm very happy about. I'm now again at 2535 or something. So yeah, I hope it will still improve over the year, but I cannot really complain about my rating gain during this tournament. The only game I'm a bit sad about, even though my opponent played really well, is this game against Kledora, where I had the black pieces. And here in the opening, just to briefly mention it, here I mixed up the move, and instead of queen b8, which is the correct move, I played queen c8. And then my position was still somewhat okay, but my opponent just played a perfect game, and I didn't have any chances, basically. So that was a bit unfortunate. But other than that, my results in the tournament were very satisfactory overall. Does it even feel cringe when recording a video or uploading a video? Not that much, actually. At first, maybe. When I started out, it was a bit strange, of course. But when I got into it more and more, also streaming at the start, it was a bit awkward. Yeah, I'm just sitting here by myself talking to the camera, basically to you guys. But yeah, with time, it just gets better, and now it just feels already completely normal to me. So, and now I also really enjoy it. Yeah, so that's even the best part. And when it comes to the game recaps, actually, I've also used it just to check the game for myself, and just to also talk to myself, yeah, about how the game went and just analyze my mistakes. So I kind of also use it. First of all, I wanted to make content for you, but also I use it for myself, just to analyze the game and just to see what went right and what went wrong. Yeah, so this was all part of the routine. Hi Felix, will you be in the World Cup or Grand Chess Tour soon? We would love to see you in bigger games. Yeah, I mean, I would need a bit more rating for that, like 200 points probably. I've played the World Cup last year in 2023, so I've played there already. But yeah, I don't know if I will be able to qualify for next year's World Cup. There is the European Championship now in November, which I will play, and there I think the top 21 players will get the spot for the World Cup. So this will be my chance to qualify for there. When it comes to what I wanted to say. When it comes to Grand Chess Tour, I mean, it's just very hard. Yeah, you need like 2750 or something nowadays. So I don't know if I will ever get there. For now, my goal is just to reach 2600. And yeah, I think for 2700, you also need, like, first of all, an insane level of talent, and also an even more insane level of work. So what people put in time there, it's just absolutely ridiculous in most cases. So I'm not sure if I'm willing to invest so much just in reaching 2700, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, hi to everyone that just joined. Any tips for team chess tournament? I mean, just enjoy the team spirit. I would say that also brings us back to the tournament again. That it's very important to have like a good team spirit. If you all get along well with each other, and you respect each other's games and also motivate each other, I think this is very important, and also keeps the spirits up, and just nice to motivate everyone if you're playing a team competition. Who I think will win the world championship? I mean, you have to be honest. Kukic is now the clear favorite, but if Ding somehow magically recovers in the next 2 months to his form from, I don't know, 4 years ago, then I think Ding would be the favorite. But I mean, as he's been playing over the last couple of months, it's very unlikely. So for now, Kukic is the favorite in my opinion. Yeah, what placement I got? Let's see at the where was it? The medals, board prizes. Yeah, so I was on board 4, and I got 11th place. with a performance of 2599. So yeah, I mean, if you get a board prize in the Olympiad, it's just crazy. You need to perform 27 plus. I think on all boards it's 27 plus. Yeah, 2790, 2780, 2968. Yeah, you have to imagine, it's just completely insane. Like Arjun is just crazy, huh? 2783. And okay, Kukash. I mean, I have no words left. Yeah, 3056. Like I don't think people realize how ridiculous this is. He made how many points? It was like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10. It's completely ridiculous. Like you cannot even I cannot even put it in words. Like this performance, it was even maybe more insane than from his last Olympiad. Even last Olympiad, Kukash made like 9 out of 11 in the end. I mean, if the guy's playing like this in the World Championship match, I think it will be a pure massacre. And if of course Ding will play same as he played in this tournament, which was not very impressive to say the least. If I didn't, yeah, hello Felix, didn't you hesitate to create your channel in German? How come you speak English so well? Well, first of all, thank you. I also thought about creating it in German, but first of all, I'm lucky to have went to like a bilingual school, and I've just learned a lot of English in my free time. And I just thought, like, if I do it in English, then I will just be able to reach way more people overall. So that was kind of my motivation. Maybe I'll do still some content in German in the future, but yeah, we'll see. For now, I really like it in English as well. Hi Felix, remember to talk about the funding, etc. Yeah, before I forget, I will get to this point. So just to briefly touch on the situation in the Austrian Chess Federation, since I think a couple of people were asking about this. So overall, the support by the Austrian Chess Federation is pretty good if you compare it to other European countries. Of course, there is not as much money in chess as there is in, I don't know, let's say soccer, which of course is pretty logical. But we the Austrian players, we were being paid. The hotel was paid, the journey was paid, food was paid, so the whole stay there was covered. And we got a like a honorary for playing, which didn't depend on how many games you play. It just you just got the money for 11 games, and this is kind of put into order by how much rating you have. I think they put it like some amount of money, I don't even remember it, from like in 50 steps, yeah, like 2 for 50 to 2.5, 2.5 to 2.550, 2.550 to 2600, and so on and so forth. So this is how it worked. I just need to keep up with the questions somehow, since I didn't expect so many of you to join in. It's crazy. Thanks to all of you for joining the stream. Yeah, so where did we leave off? Are you a full-time professional chess player, or do you also coach or create chessable courses? I do basically everything with chess. So I do play a lot of tournaments and also earn some money there. But I am also a coach. I have now like 4 or 5 students, which I work on a regular basis. And I also created one chess-based course, which will probably follow end of this year on the Reti opening for white. And I'm currently working as well on a chessable course, which will be for black, repertoire against for the Nimzo and the Rogozin for black. So kind of like a half full repertoire against 1d4 openings. That should also be released this year, hopefully. Very few GMs are there who are on YouTube. Yeah, I mean in general, not many grandmasters are creating content in general, which I've just realized recently. Yeah, I always thought that like the market when it comes to chess content creation is already like almost fully how to say, I mean, like there are just so many people already who already create something, but it's actually kind of the contrary. Like I don't know many grandmasters who produce content on a regular basis. How did you mentally prepare for a match against Magnus? Thank you, Atava. If I might, I will just come back to this a bit later, since I've already also prepared something about our match against Norway. I will just go through the other questions, but I will remember your question later on about the match against Norway. What is the name of the upcoming DVD on ChessBase? It's full repertoire for white on one knight of 3. I don't know actually how they named it yet. I think it's just white repertoire with one knight of 3. How much time did you work on chess each day to reach GM, and how did it change since then? I can hardly say it like how much it was per day. But I mean, it was just continuous work. Like I did something every day, but sometimes it was like multiple hours, sometimes it was a bit less. But I guess you could say this what I've mentioned earlier, that it's like this magical number of 10,000 hours. I guess it's somewhat correct, and of course many tournaments which I've played as well. And if your question, how if it kept up like this, I think, yeah. And did it change since then? Yeah, I mean, I'm not working now like all the time. Like there are now some days where I don't look at chess that much at all, since yeah, I'm also doing like YouTube now, which also I like to prepare some things there and just content in general. And sometimes I'm just traveling or busy with many organizational things like booking flights, booking hotels, writing receipts for trainings or for all sorts of things like this. So sometimes there is just no time to work on chess. But yeah, hopefully that will change in the future. Hopefully I'll get more time again to work more for myself as well. How's the energy level after the 11 days of chess? Thank you for that question. It's pretty tough, honestly. Like also for me, since I played 10 out of 11 games, which is quite a lot. Usually people, I mean, yeah, from the list here, you can see most of them played many games. But mostly it is like this. If you're performing very well, like Arjun, for example, yeah, why would a team captain rest Arjun Erigaisi if he plays like an absolute machine? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Unless he's close to dying for some medical reason, then you will never rest Arjun Erigaisi if he's performing like this. So yeah, mostly if you're playing well, you don't get a rest. So therefore, I'm pretty tired. But yeah, I'll use the next couple of days to just get back to my energy levels. Let me see. Any giveaways coming up? Haven't planned anything yet. I'm still thinking, but yeah, I'll think a bit more about it. There should actually come like a giveaway for the 1,000 subscribers. So that should be something that I should do. That's for sure. If you have any ideas for giveaway, I was thinking maybe a free training with me. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it. 11th place on board 4 is super strong. Yeah, thank you. All while creating content. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Of course, it was not always easy after a long game to sit down and record the recap, but I still really enjoyed it. So again, I really want to thank all of you who've been super supportive during the event and have just like commented every day and just being super supportive, writing, keep up the good work, and all of these comments. It was just super motivating. And then I just wanted to continue because you guys just really enjoyed the recaps, at least I hope so. And yeah, that's why I also had this motivation to just keep on going, even though after some 5-6 hour games, it was also often really tough to then record something. But yeah, I just wanted to say again, thank you for showing your support. What's your favorite opening against d4? I think it's maybe the King's Indian. Let's put a romantic opening as an answer. Wie geht's du? That's not correct. The German you learned in school should need an update. You should say wie geht's dir. Wie geht's dir means like how are you? So wie geht's dir? I'm fine, thank you. Just tired from the tournament overall. Last question, any giveaways coming up? We are already here. Hey Felix, first heard about you from an interview with Hari Krishna. He mentioned his work with you. Good to see your channel growing. Thank you. Yeah, I've worked with Hari. Those who don't know, Pentala Hari Krishna has been like an absolute top player for many years now. And by the way, he also won the tournament. Yeah, he was also there with India. He played, I think, only 3 or 4 games, since the youngsters were just crushing everything. But yeah, Hari is a great person. I think he also has his YouTube channel, or for sure he has Instagram. So yeah, if you haven't followed him, make sure to do so. A great guy, also a great player, and I've been working for him as a second. Recently, not so much anymore, since he hasn't been playing that much anymore. But yeah, maybe maybe we'll resume our work in the future a bit more. The performance of the board 2 silver medalist board 2, let me see, is crazy. Yeah, also, yeah, like international master 2763. Yeah, like these people they just have insane tournaments sometimes. I mean, Kramnik would say like suspicious, but we will see. Yeah, I've also prepared something here, so stick around for this. I wanna get into some things later. Yeah, Hare Krishna is a great player. Yeah. There are interesting stories, which maybe I'll do a separate video on that sometime later on. But yeah, Hari's a great guy. Super strong player. I think his peak rating was also something insane, like 2780 or something. So yeah, just incredible. Yeah, how financially viable is chess as a career? That's a great question, which I think was also asked some other time. Are you still wait? Kramnik spoiler got me excited. How financially viable is chess as a career? Yeah, great question. So this question was already asked in some other video. So as a player, it's pretty hard sometimes, especially if you're not like top. I would say top 10 even, or top 20 maybe. To really make a living from chess is very hard, unless you're like this absolute top. So I mean now making a living by only playing chess. If you make courses, if you give training, then you can live pretty well from chess, at least if you set up your business nicely. So that's very important. Like there are certain international masters even, or FIDE masters, that just have a big following, and therefore they are able to sell a lot of courses and give lots of trainings. So just your reputation in general is very important for that. But when it comes to playing alone, I think to really be able to make a good living just from playing, it's like 27, 30 plus, I would even say. Otherwise, if you're like 2650, I mean, you can play open tournaments and just travel from tournament to tournament, but I think it's just very tough also from a mental perspective, because there's just so much pressure. Yeah, like if you don't win a tournament and you're dependent on it, like to pay rent or to pay food or whatever, then I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a nice situation for players. Yeah, if they depend on winning a tournament just to be able to pay something, I don't think it can be healthy. Yeah, so that's kind of the issue when it comes to these open tournaments, and if you're dependent on playing it. Your Olympiad content was way too good. That's why questions are running. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I've also tried this vlog type of content. So I'm glad that people enjoyed it, and I will also keep it in the future if you guys wish so, because actually this kind of routine that professional players have during chess tournaments, I think it's very interesting to see. And as far as I know, there are not many people actually that document this, like how they prepare for games or what are their thoughts and emotions before and after the match. So yeah, if you guys like it, which I hope so, then I'll definitely keep that up in the future. Why do you play so much knight f3 and not Jabava London? I mean, I'm just very conventional. Yeah, like knight f3 is perfect for me. Also, don't forget to check out my course when it's coming out. I actually I wasn't bullshitting at all in this course. I have to give myself some some advertisement here, because often in these courses, like, people are just recommending something, yeah, just to be able to recommend something. But in the course, I actually gave what I also play myself in tournament games. Also played something in this Olympiad, which I recommended. So yeah, I'm really proud of that work, and yeah, looking forward to when it gets released. And it will be just a very slow repertoire for white. So for people who don't want to have some crazy opening fights, relying on too much heavy theory. So yeah, looking forward to it when it comes out. And yeah. Yeah, about drinking during tournaments. I don't drink during tournaments. I mean, back some years ago, I did drink, like, the night before the events and stuff like that. Sometimes also a bit too much. Like, if you're young, of course, some things like this happen. But I actually quit, like, really to drink anything at all. Actually, maybe it was already two years ago, something like this. I've almost never drink alcohol, especially during tournaments. And even in the Bermuda party, yeah, like, during this tournament, I didn't drink anything at all. Maybe once, like, some very small glass of something. But yeah, I was trying to be very serious during the event. So yeah. Yeah, Bermuda party. Yeah, I had also the vlog there. I hope I'm not forgetting any questions, or if I missed any questions. If I missed any questions, please write them again in the chat, because now I think I'm almost through. If you have the opportunity to be a second for Ding or Gukesh, which will you choose? Great question. Maybe Ding, actually, because he's just now like the underdog, and he's actually a very nice person, at least from what I've seen. He was also in the same hotel as I was at the Olympiad, and he's just this, like, typical shy person, which he just looks super. I don't mean this in any, like, I don't mean this in any. I don't know how to say it, but he's just a cute guy. Yeah? Like, you cannot put it any other way around. Like, he's just adorable. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. Super polite, always super nice. I mean, I haven't spoken to him, but that's just the impression he gave me. So yeah, I would choose Ding, I think. Kramnik spoiler got me excited. Yeah, Kramnik video will come in a second. Yeah, Felix isn't the man I used to know anymore. That's true. Yeah, as I've mentioned before, I used to drink during tournaments. Sometimes when I was a bit younger, like 3 years ago or something. But now I've basically completely stopped, especially during events. Can Gukesh beat Ding? Yeah, I've already mentioned before. I think Gukesh is the clear favorite now. But yeah, if Ding somehow manages to get back to his form, it could become a very, very close match. Imagine the pressure to win a chess game to pay rent. Rather invest in talk coins, less stressful. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah? Like, that's so hard, because also in chess tournaments you need some sort of luck as well. And yeah, then if you're reliant on winning them to earn money, then it just sucks, in my opinion. So yeah, that are just my thoughts on it. What are your favorite openings for black and white? For black, I've already said I like the King's Indian, I like the Knight Dwarf. For white, let's stick with Knight f3. Knight f3 is flexible, yeah, that's true. Did you guys have any time to check out Budapest during the tournament? Not that much. I mean, we had the free day, but we were just also tired then already from the first 6 rounds that we didn't really go out. Also, then the whole situation with the flooding got worse, so we didn't really want to go out any more than necessary. And yeah, we didn't see Budapest, unfortunately, that much. When I've been to Budapest already a couple of times, since it's quite close to Vienna, so I know the city a bit. But yeah, I hope that next time I'm there, I'll be able to see a bit more as well. By the way, Linda, you've commented on my YouTube video, I think. Could you maybe repeat your question here? Because I wrote it down somewhere, but I would need to pull it up now. And you asked a very interesting question, so it would be fantastic if you could write it again, and then I could answer it. Hello, everyone. Again, I see many people join the stream, so welcome to the stream. As I've mentioned before, I'm just kind of reviewing what happened at the Olympiad and also answering your questions. So if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to write them in the chat. Was there any specific player against whom you wanted to play on board 4? Great question. Let me see who else was there. I mean, Aronian would be fantastic because Aronian is just a great player. Aronian would be great. By the way, I was on board 4, but I also played on board 3 sometimes because every team has 5 players, for those who don't know, and 1 player always has to rest. So technically, I could have also played against someone from board 3, like Michael Adams, I really admire for his very positional style. Lenier Dominguez Perez, also a great player. Of course, Eric Geisi would also be fantastic to play. So many people that would be great to be paired against. Mamedjarov, of course, also absolute legend. So many names I could name here. Found this in a chess of course, played by Austrian theoretician Bloberger. I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this must have been in Niels Grandelio's course, who is also at the same time a good friend of mine. And it was some line which I think I was discussing with him. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was Niels's work. Hallo Felix, was und wann ist der nächste Turnier? My next tournament is in Croatia, which starts on the 4th of October. I'm traveling there. It's the Croatian League, which I'm playing there. It's in Mali Lugin. It's some like very beautiful island there. Yeah, I'll also try to keep up the recaps there, and yeah, hopefully it will be as exciting as the Olympiad. So yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, 69 viewers already. It's just crazy, huh? Like how many people are tuning in? Really happy to see it. It was Grandelios, yeah. Yeah, just let me see. I will try to find Linda's question. Grandelius is a sweetheart, yeah, that's true. I will try to briefly find Linda's question on YouTube because it was pretty good. Yeah, I think it was the Playing Hall organization. I hope Linda is still there to get my answer. Now you're writing. Okay, perfect. I'll use the time while you're writing to catch myself a small chocolate bar. I can see you're also very good at mewing. Yeah, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. I was there a couple of times, but never got to watch the games. Yeah, thank you, Linda. I will now answer the question, hopefully in enough detail. So just for everyone to hear it, I was there a couple of times, but never got to watch the games. Then later I was told that people actually couldn't see anything at the spectators area because there were no projectors to follow the live games. I also really wanted to meet a few players, Rappert, for instance, who doesn't live here, so it's rare for us Hungarians to catch him here in Budapest, but I wasn't lucky with that either, so it would be great to hear some inside scoops. All right, before you get inside scoops, I get a bite from my chocolate bar. Felix is short for a German guy. I wouldn't say so. I'm like 194 centimeters. It's like 6'3" in inches. Yeah, I don't think that 194 is short. By the way, never call me a German guy. I'm Austrian. It's a very big difference. All right, let's get to Linda's question. Yeah. So about the spectators area, I was in there once, I believe. When I had the free day, I was able to walk around a bit at the expo area. FIDE put up like a small area for people. It was kind of like a museum. I also put it on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. So kind of like a museum. They put up some shops for people to buy lots of things. And I think I also briefly saw the spectators area, but I'm not sure anymore. Of course, I mean, I kind of understand the organizers not to allow the spectators inside the area, because it will just increase the chances for cheating by so much. So yeah, I can understand that, but they should somehow be able to, like, I don't know, provide something to see the players better, or at least to put the spectators area somewhere where spectators can see the players. I mean, it would be also very lucrative. Yeah, like people want to come there to watch the players, to watch their favorite players play the game, and then they're here, like Linda said, and they cannot even see anything. So that's pretty annoying. But I don't. It's just hard. Yeah, like if the play, if the spectators come inside the playing area, then it's also like this risk of cheating somehow. So I was thinking sometime maybe some glass walls, which then the players cannot see outside, but the visitors can see inside. I think that would be maybe an option. But yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, I hope I answered your question. I'm not sure I did, but yeah, there were no projectors to follow the games. That I think is true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it wasn't perfect, but I also don't blame the organizers. It's just really hard to make everything perfect in this event. Did I miss your comments on preparing for Norway? Not yet. I haven't been able to get into that yet. I, as a fellow Austrian, feel offended too. Yeah. Is this the end of European chess? I wouldn't say so. I mean, let's get back to the end standings. Yeah, Kramnik would have lost the mind with spectators. Yeah, I mean, also me personally. Yeah, I'm not that like suspicious when it comes to cheating overall. But I think having spectators in the playing area, it's really too much. Like nowadays, you can so easily cheat, especially if the spectators are not checked for mobile devices. Then I think it's actually like too much. Is this the end of European chess? I mean, Serbia is part of Europe, who got 5th place. Armenia probably also. I guess people argue about that, but I would say Armenia is part of Europe. Germany, but yeah, I mean, of course, India and USA, it was not really surprising that they ended on top. Also, Uzbekistan, you could have kind of imagined that they would finish here. China, so yeah, I mean, there are these countries which are, of course, great, yeah. But I wouldn't say it's the end of European chess. I mean, there's also, by the way, Magnus Carlsen, if some of you might know him, who's also from Europe. So, but yeah, of course, you can hardly overlook the the fact that India is just crushing. Yeah, like it's just the work of Vishy Anand, who has pushed all of these kids, and now you just see the results of that. Okay, I'm glad, Linda, that I answered your question. Wow, phones were not allowed to the spectators area. Okay, I will get into something a bit more controversial now, which is the situation in the playing hall. But before I do that, I will just get a glass of water for myself. So I'll be back in just a second. All right, guys. I hope I'm back for you. So I was about to say, I was about to get into the whole situation at the playing hall, also when it comes to fair play. Yeah. So the whole situation was as follows. I will not look at the comments now. Sorry for that. But I really need to get this off my chest, because the situation was as follows. Like, if you go into the playing area, there is like this typical airport security, like you have to go through this gate, and then it beeps if you have something metal on you, and it doesn't if not. Yeah, and then they still check you. If it beeps, they check you more and more and more until they're satisfied with the situation. By the way, I'm talking about the fair play officers who are like, it's their job there to to take care of these issues. But yeah, I was playing in the playing area and I saw it on multiple occasions. But there are certain individuals, like sometimes media, sometimes they don't wear anything, so you don't know. There are some VIP persons, and they are just standing next to the boards with a phone in their hand and are texting someone on WhatsApp. Or I saw it, yeah, with my own eyes. I was walking next to some of the top boards, yeah, like it was top board 5, board 6, board 7, and some person is just standing there with the phone and texting someone. And I asked myself, like, how is this allowed? They are so strict when it comes to players. I will get into it later as well. Some person was nullified. The game was nullified because they found a SIM card on him, a SIM card in the wallet. Okay, I can understand it. That's a problem, but why, if they are so strict with the players, then why are they not as strict with media personnel or with some officials there? I just don't get it. Like, they can cheat just as well as the players, or they can help the players to cheat. Yeah, that's the main issue. Yeah? So I really want to say is because I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, overall. Yeah, I will mention something more about this. Let me just see if you asked something in the comments. Let's speak about the performance of the Austrian team. I've already talked about that in the beginning of the stream. We do have a young team. Yeah, I didn't mention that, but let me just go back for a second to the Austrian team. Let me just go back. We do have a very young team. So Dragnev, born in 1999. Horvat, born in 2003, only 1 year younger than me. I myself, born in 2002. And Badetsky, I think, also born in 2003 or 2002. So we do have a very young team. It was just that Dominic and also Marcus just underperformed. So I personally think it's actually great to have someone very experienced in the team. This was Marcus, and to have the rest as like younger players. We did very, very well in the last European Team Championship, where we also beat Team Norway with the same lineup. So I think it was just a bad event for us, speaking from team-wise. And yeah, there we have some young players coming up who will hopefully overtake us in the future. But yeah, for now, this lineup is like by far the strongest we can deliver. Of course, unless Alexenko would join the team. What difference would it have made if Russian team had taken part in both men and women's team? Yeah, I mean, the difference would be probably that the end standings would look somewhat else, that Russia would be somewhere, I would guess, in the top 5, yeah, at least. That would be my assumption. The standout performance in the women's section was Divya Deshmukh. She's just 18. Yeah, Divya is great. Yeah, I was also very impressed with her play. I don't know how many points she made in the end. Maybe it was 9.5 out of 11 or something crazy like that. I think she made 2 draws. Maybe it was 10 out of 11 or 9 out of 10. Not entirely sure, but that was very well deserved. That's for sure. Yeah, what's my take on the Russian ban? Like, literally, I probably should not get into it, and I will also not get into it that much. I have to admit, I don't know enough at all about any political situation to have like a qualified opinion on it. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I think it's always sad that sports and politics are getting mixed up, but I mean, at the end of the day, sports are politics. So yeah, it's just impossible that both of these don't get mixed up, and it's just like that the players are suffering from it. Yeah, like countries are at war with each other, and or are fighting over something, and therefore only the players are suffering. So this is just the sad reality that that it's at the end of the day it's the players who are suffering from this situation, and yeah, at least the players who often don't even agree with their government's agenda, I would say. That's why you also saw many people that played in the Olympiad only for a different country. So yeah, it's a sad reality, but I guess we will just see how it will play out in the future. Hi Felix. Hi to everyone that just joined the live stream. Will you live stream chess? Not tonight. I will just get into some Olympiad stuff. Also I've prepared some YouTube videos which I just want to react on later on. So yeah. Hi Samuel. Nice to see you in the chat. I was sad not to see you in this Olympiad. I remember, by the way, for those who don't know, in the chat, Grandmaster Samuel Tersahakian, one of Armenia's top players, currently like 2,610 rating, I would say. Super strong player, played him many times in the past. Who was unfortunately not in Armenia's lineup this time. Hopefully in the future again. Yeah, we had some tough matchups against Armenia in the past. Both times I lost to Samuel. One was in last Olympiad in Chennai, where we lost, I think it was 2.5 to 1.5. So Samuel there won the decisive. No, there we lost 3-1, I think. Samuel beat me there, and also in last European Team Championship he beat me again, and there it was the decisive game. So in this game I was the only one from the whole match that lost. So super nice guy and super strong player. So check out his channel for sure. I also saw that he makes some content. So yeah. Let's see. What are the other questions? What is your routine during a tournament like the Olympiad? Sleeping patterns and so on. Yeah, I mean, during this event, what I also didn't get into yet, when it comes to organization, what was really frustrating was the whole situation with the transports. So usually the organizer organizes transports for the players. So usually there are buses in front of the hotel, in front of the playing hall, waiting for the players to finish their game, and then they will take them back to the hotel. And before the game, the buses are waiting at the hotel and will take the players to the playing area. But this time, I mean, before the game it was okay, but after the game, often I was waiting for like 1 hour in the bus, and I think this is just unacceptable. They should provide buses. They mostly, in most cases, they were driving every half hour, which is still somewhat okay, I think. It's still frustrating if you miss one bus and then you have to wait for 29 minutes. But yeah, 30 minutes I think is okay. But I think once I waited in the bus for 1 hour, because the first bus left at 5:30, the game started at 3. So if you finished right after like 30 minutes, then you technically had to wait for 2 hours. Okay, there was an option to deposit phones there, so you could technically just order a taxi. But there was one bus at 5:30, and then the next bus was at 6:30. So during one round, I think it was the third round where I lost to Hungary pretty quickly. I think I arrived at like 5:35, and then I just had to wait for 1 hour on the bus, which I think personally for a chess Olympiad they could do better. Of course, I understand the point of costs being very high, but yeah, it's just very frustrating for the players, and that's all I have to say. But yeah, when it comes to my routine, so there I had some trouble sleeping actually. I went to bed usually at a bit earlier than 1 a.m., like 0:30, 0:45. But I just couldn't fall asleep for 1, sometimes even 2 hours. And then often I woke up in the morning at 8 already. So before many games, I got barely like 5-6 hours of sleep, which is also one reason why I'm just super exhausted now after the tournament. Usually I'm able to sleep better. Maybe it was just the quality of the bed. Maybe it was the extra pressure being a team event and playing for your country. So yeah, that was an issue. Then I always get breakfast. And then at 10 a.m. the pairings got released, so you know which player you're playing, because they have 5 players and you don't know which player is resting. So only at that point you know whom you are playing. And yeah, then I started preparing. I had a small meeting with our captain, Borki Predojevic, which, by the way, I wanted to show a picture and also later get into him. That is our captain, Bosnian grandmaster, and super nice guy, super strong player, opening expert, Borki Predojevic. So I'll get into it later. I had a meeting with him, and yeah, then I started preparing on my own. Then it was lunch at like 1 p.m. So there was not much time for me actually to prepare at all. It was all a bit stressful. And then at around 2 p.m. we already had to leave for the game. Yeah, where did I leave off? Where's your fly pet at? I remember, I think in last stream I had a fly in my room, which was all the time flying around. But now I'm lucky that he has left my room. Fortunately, it's not there anymore. Hi everyone who is new to the channel. It's great to see you here. Great to have so many visitors to the channel. Social media impact on chess. Yeah, I mean, it's very important to have like media attention on chess in general. So yeah, you see lots of content creators like Anna Kramnik or some of them Hikaru or Gotham Chess, who just have this ability to get lots of people interested in chess even though they haven't played before, which I think is a great development. And yeah, we definitely need more people like this. And this is also like my aim in general, to make chess more appealing to the general public that maybe haven't heard or seen much about chess before. And I also want to like show this general lifestyle behind chess, or at least my personal lifestyle behind working on chess, and the whole routine during chess tournaments. So this is kind of my goal as well. Do you think chess players complain a lot? Good question. Maybe, but I think overall also chess players are quite moderate people, and they're quite easy to please, because often if you're a chess player you have to live with quite mediocre conditions, because chess doesn't have a lot of money and people are trying to save money left and right. So often you have to play under, yeah, let's say mediocre conditions. So I think therefore most chess players are quite easy to please. Let's put it like this. Yeah, I mean, sleeping during tournaments can just be sometimes tough. Yeah, especially because of the pressure. Also after the games, it's yeah, it just takes time to like to relax after the game, and it's often not possible to do this in just a couple of hours. Yeah, more than 100 viewers, completely insane. How many people are watching? So again, welcome to all the people who've tuned in. Hi everyone. What's my FIDE rating now? It's like 25-20. After the event, I won like 13 points, so it's back up to 25-33, I think now. Yeah, hopefully for this year, my whole my goal was to reach like 2550. So this is my goal for this year, to stabilize on that rating. So I hope I can reach this by the end of the year. What's my hourly charge for coaching? Now it's 50 euros per hour. I don't have that much time actually now for coaching. But if I see people actually who want to improve and who love the game, and who I can actually feel like I can help them and they want to learn, then it's just a very nice feeling for me that I'm able to help them to improve their chess. Sure. I try to answer all the questions. If I missed some questions, please don't hesitate to write them into the chat again. You don't allow super chats. I think it's only possible if you have a certain amount of watch hours. So yeah, I think that will be something for the future. Last time I checked, I'm now at like 2,000 watch hours, and I think you need like 3,000 or 4,000. So yeah, that's something for the future. Yeah, don't forget, tomorrow we're having the CCT qualifier. Yeah, some will go to sleep, have a nice rest. Hopefully we won't play there tomorrow, or hopefully we will, and we will have a nice match. I will also play in that event tomorrow at 5 p.m. There's the chess.com event, where last time I performed pretty well. So yeah, it's only open to grandmasters, so it's a very strong event. Really looking forward to playing there tomorrow. What rating do you think is your maximum potential? I mean, I think 2600 I can achieve if I put in still a lot of work. 2700 maybe if I really work like an animal, but yeah, this is like a big maybe. I think 2700 is extremely hard to reach. Was denkst du über den Kramnik Chess India Skandal? So in English, what do you think about the Kramnik Chess India scandal? I will get into this now. I will just answer the remaining questions, and then we'll go to the Kramnik video. Is there any discount for package classes? I don't have that yet. In general, my coaching business is more like something on the side. So yeah, if you have any questions for coaching, hit me up on my website or on my socials. We can gladly discuss the details in person. Yeah, I've got that question already sometimes. Thanks for the question, Fofa. It's hard to say what brings a chess player from 2550 to 2600. Very hard to answer that question. I think it's just experience mostly. But it's only 50 rating points, but these rating points from 2550 to 2600 are quite a lot, I think. So I think it's experience, and they're just better at everything a little bit. Like a little bit better at openings, a little bit better at middle game, end game, in most cases at least. Who is your favorite player from Indian team? I would say my former boss, Hari Krishna Pentala, who I've worked for as a second for some time. But I mean, all the guys are very likable and super strong players, so hard to pick someone from there. I also really like Arjun Erigaisi, I have to say. I mean, I like all of them, don't get me wrong, but Arjun is just a phenomenon for me. He's gained, I don't know how many, he was at 2600 maybe 2 years ago, and now he's almost at 2800, so he's just an absolute phenomenal player. Yeah, thoughts on Turkish boys Edis and Yagis, also very interesting. Let's pull this up quickly. So what also Hikaru talked about in one of his videos was that it's very surprising nowadays. You see in some countries young players are coming from countries who actually don't have that much of a chess history or chess culture. For example, Turkey. They've had many strong players like Mustafa Yilmaz. There's also Sholak Dragan, I think, 2600. But there was never like I think there was never like a 2700 player. Hopefully I'm not wrong. But then you see all of a sudden these two players, Edis Gurel and Erduk Mus. I think they're both born in like 2009 or 10. 2008, Edis Gurel, and 2011. 2011, you have to imagine. The guy's 13 years old and has 2600 rating. You just have to imagine he's beating players like Meshkov, strong grandmaster, another grandmaster, Piorun, 2600, super experienced, super strong grandmaster. Erdogmus just beating all of them with 13 years old. 13, 1-0. You just have to imagine. I think it's insane. And yeah, they don't have this chess culture. So I think what also Hikaru mentioned in one of his videos is that just nowadays there's so much material online so that these players can just learn from all sorts of sources online as well and can therefore improve there. But still, it's very admirable that Turkey has these players coming up, and I think they will be something to watch out for even more in the future. Just give me 1 second. I'll fetch something. All right. I'm back. Just successfully spilled water all over my pants, but the stream will nevertheless continue. Okay, the questions are still coming. I will get to the Kramnik video, I promise. But all of the questions are so interesting, so I'll just continue to get into them. Am I trying for 2700? I mean, that's not the goal now. As I've said, the goal now is to reach 2600, and from there on, I will just see where the journey goes. Did you have any bad experiences with famous top players? Yeah, I mean, with some of these top players are like actual celebrities, not that many. Like Magnus, I would say, is like an actual celebrity. Like many people that don't even play chess know him. But Magnus, I think, is a good example that he's still, I think, very well behaved overall. Like I think he's always polite to people that ask for autographs and so on. I also try not to blame them if sometimes they don't feel like giving autographs or something. Like if you have some people who you don't know coming up to you all day long and asking you for pictures and so on, I think it's quite natural to get annoyed at some point. But I personally, I think I never had any bad experiences with any top players, not that I can recall. Why is Asia getting better in chess than Europe? Good question. Yeah. Hard to answer. I always thought that maybe people in Asia have like a better work ethic than Europeans, because like education, I think, is more highly valued in Asia, I believe, than in Europe. At least often, like when it comes to school and so on. Nowadays in Europe, also this like discipline, I think, is somewhat missing in many European countries, I think, which is still more there, I would guess, in Asia. But again, I'm not an expert on this, so maybe it has something to do with that. Turkish league is very strong, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it has to do that much with these two players coming up. Yeah, I was a second to Hare Krishna Pantalaya. Yeah, I was there. I was there at Tata Steel India in last year. I think it was in Kolkata, if I recall correctly. I was there with him. I actually have some stories to tell. Yeah, in general about all these events where I traveled like around half the world. So I can record lots of videos on all of these things. Highest rated Turkish player Vahap Sanal 2656. Vahap Sanal has 2656. That is crazy. Let me see. Let's just pull it up. FIDE profile. No, he has 2581. Maybe he had 2601. So Yeah. Any thoughts on Gukeshti? Of course, also, I mean, nothing else to add than what I've said before on the performance. Performing 3050, I think, in this event. Just no words. Yeah, completely insane. The strength is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Can we today become international master with videos only without books? I was always a big book guy. I have in my room, like, I think it's now like 200 chess books or something. I've always loved to study chess in the old-fashioned way with books. But I don't see the difference. Like, if you personally prefer to study with videos, I think you should do so. In general, I think the problem with watching videos, you could say the same about movies and books. The comparison between movies and books is that when you watch movies, then you're less focused sometimes. Like, you only have to, you don't have to concentrate. But if you read a book, then you actually have to concentrate to read the text. If you watch a movie, you can just lay back, close your eyes, and still like, you can hear some things and so on. But if you read the book, you actually have to focus. So that's what I like about books personally. Same question in German again. If it's possible nowadays to become a grandmaster without a computer and opening preparation and analysis, I guess it's possible, but I mean, very hard. Yeah, like, also it's nowadays very hard to even get around without using an engine, because you just see an engine everywhere. It's like, you could ask, is it possible to live without a phone nowadays? I mean, I guess it would be possible, but it's very hard to, yeah, it makes it much harder. Let's put it like this. How can I follow chess tournaments and maybe games and tournaments of a specific player? I can recommend you guys a very nice website for those of you who don't know. It's 27chess.com. For those of you who want to follow like top chess, this is a very nice website. Because here you can see like the live developments and ratings. They always update them, and you can also see the games of top players. So this is the 2700 list. So all players above 2700, and you can also go to top 100, and here you always see the top 100 players. So, and you see their rating developments. This is like live updated as always. So this is a nice way to follow top chess. If you want to follow like tournaments in general, I just recommend you to go to Lichess, and from there on go to broadcasts, as you can see here, and they transmit most of the top events. Yeah. Where did we leave off? Which country is hosting Olympiad in 2026? I think it's Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan. I'm not sure. It's either of those two, I think. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. What was your rating at the age of 16? I think with 15, I reached my peak back then with 2475. With somewhere between 15 and 16, it was 2475, which was very good for that age. I remember back then, at least. But then I had like a flat time, and I stayed on this rating for a very, very long time, for like 3 years or so, and then I only crossed 2500, and then again it kept on, and now I also didn't increase it by a lot, but now I'm at 2533 live rating. So yeah, it's a long way. It's a long way. I'm in my late 20s. How to get competent at chess? Great question. I feel it's very difficult to grasp concepts now than I could when I was younger. Yeah, that's always the thing. Like, I often compare chess with like learning languages, which is much easier when you're a child, or at least when you're younger, because simply your brain will take up this information much more easily, I guess. But yeah, of course it becomes harder. That's unfortunately the sad reality. If you're older, it becomes harder to improve at chess. I guess the best advice I could take is just to keep on working. Yeah, like of course it will take a bit longer to become stronger than if you were, say, 10 years old. But yeah, keep on working on chess. There's lots of good material out there. Small self-advertisement. I also released like a playlist on YouTube where I have like a strategy masterclass. So where I show you the most important strategic concepts in chess, like in very short videos, like 6-minute videos, where I show some very instructive games by very strong players. Also classical games, like Botvinnik games, Fischer games, things like this. So yeah, if you're interested in that, feel free to check out my videos on my channel for that. Yeah, we've already been at the question chess prodigies in India, how it came. I guess Vishy Anand was like just the godfather of Indian chess, and people are just these youngsters are just following his footsteps. I think, since also chess just has so much recognition in India. Like you see, people are getting like now the Indian team. I think they meet the prime minister, and I guess they will get like a very big also financial reward for winning the Olympiad. And yeah, I think in European countries there's a lot less from that. Like I would imagine if Austria wins the Olympiad, we would maybe get to meet the president of Austria, get like a handshake, and then it's basically it, I think. And when I think back 2 years when Uzbekistan won the Olympiad, as far as I know, every player from the Uzbekistan team got, I think they got a car, they got an apartment, and they got like $100,000 cash just on the hand. Yeah, like you could never imagine something like this happening in Europe. So yeah, in general, I think support for sports is overall better in Asia. In Asia, and in general, sports are more highly valued in some case in Asia. I would argue. Which question can I answer next? Classical chess not going to die, right? Yeah, I have the opinion that classical chess will stay with us for some time. I know that many people are saying that it gets boring and that chess 960 should come into the game way faster, but yeah, I'm still a fan of chess how it is. I think it will take many more years to for people to get bored of the classical chess. So yeah. Kukish didn't use engine even after becoming GM. He used engines only after some point of his career. So I think it's possible. Yeah, for sure it's possible. Yeah, I didn't know that about Kukish. Very interesting point. So yeah, for sure it's possible. I would have thought that it makes it harder, but maybe it also makes it easier. Yeah, like maybe in the beginning it's harder if you don't use an engine, but later on you will have a much easier time because you're just not used to using the engine so much, and you will just think more for yourself. So that could be a thing. Yeah, crazy. Ding is almost equal to Vidit in ranking. Yeah, I mean Ding lost so much rating. I really feel bad for him. As I've mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Ding. Also of his chess. Yeah, people will laugh at me for this now because he's just underperforming now. But if you really watch Ding's game from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, he was just very, very strong. Like I think that him and Fabiano Caruana back then were like the only serious contenders for Magnus, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. So people really underestimate Ding, which I think is quite sad. He was, and if he would get back to his form, still is a great player. But of course, his form now is not keeping up. Turn on Super Chats, brother. Yeah, I will do. But I still need to get my watch hours up. At least that's what YouTube is telling me. Only then I can activate it, and then I will happily do it. But thank you. 5 favorite books. That's also a great question. I think I'll do a video on that as well. For now, I can recommend you Artur Yusupov's books and Mark Dvoretsky's books. I'm a big fan of both of them. I've also had the pleasure of working with Artur Yusupov in some training camps together, which was also very influential for me. Yeah, that was always great. So I would say those two. For people who want to get a more like a better insight into how professional chess in general works, I would highly recommend you the Anand files. Let me just pull it up. It's this book. The Anand Files by Michel Abern. I've really enjoyed this book, and the author is going into Anand's matches, into his World Championship matches, and he has like some interviews with his coaches back then, Rustam Kazimjanov, and he really goes into this whole match preparation phase, how much they worked and what was their preparation, what then came on the board. Very nice book, so really can recommend this one. One of my favorite books. All right. Let me see. What were the other questions? Yeah, I see many questions how to improve in chess in general. I would encourage people to read more books. At least this is what always helped me. So, like especially these classical books, like by Artur Yusupov, Mark Dvoretsky, they were also people that were never big fans of using the chess computer, the engine, and they have like this very classical understanding towards chess. So I would really encourage you to check them out. Do you know Same Raina? Yeah, I hope I pronounce him correctly. I think he's like a stand-up comedian in India, also now collaborating a lot with Chess India. So I've heard about him. That's for sure. Gukesh Praga and Vaishali got $30K US check today from their state. From their state, yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. It's not from. It's like not from the Indian government, I assume, but from their individual state where they're from. Okay, that's interesting. 25 lakh rupees, yeah. Okay, that's also great. Yeah, as I've mentioned before, I think that would be more unlikely to happen in Europe, but hopefully I can I can prove myself wrong in the future. Which countries are underrated or overrated rating wise, do you think? Yeah, let's get back to the Olympiad maybe, or let's just stay here. I would have guessed before the Olympiad that maybe the USA could have a hard time because they have more of an older team compared to India, let's say. So all of them lost a couple of rating, like Fabiano, Dominguez Perez. So kind of had a comeback in the end, but still lost some rating. So I would have said maybe the USA, but of course they're still a strong team. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, they're all super strong. Do you know a good coach you can recommend for lessons? I mean, before I would look for a coach, I would really go through all of the material on the internet. First of all, you can save a lot of money by doing that. There is so much material on the internet. Like, of course, a lot of it is also pure garbage, but just have a look on YouTube, on certain chess websites. So yeah, before you get a coach, I would check out all of the cheaper options, also to just save money. Congratulations for your overall performance. What is your IQ? I have no idea. I never did an IQ test. Yeah, maybe someday I'll do it. Which future tournaments will you participating in? Also great question. I mentioned before I will play the Croatian League in in when is it? In like 2 weeks, starting on 4th of October. Then I'll be playing the European Individual Championship in November, and some leagues. I'm playing Czech League. I'm playing probably German League as well, Bundesliga. And at the end of the year, which will be probably the highlight of the year, the World Rapid and Blitz Championship in New York. So this will be great. Yeah. What else was there? What do you do for a living? Yeah, I mostly do chess related stuff. So I'm coaching, I'm playing, and I've recently started becoming a content creator as well. So that are the main things. Yugoslavian chess school of chess. My thoughts. Yeah, I mean Yugoslavia back in the day also had very strong players, like I think Majanovic, and like in the 70s, 80s, was also a superpower in chess. Of course, next to the Soviet Union, but it was still a very strong chess team they had. And of course now as well, yeah, Serbia and Slovenia. Slovenia having now Demchenko and who is the other player? It was Anton Demchenko, and is he 2700 as well? He should be somewhere here. Fedoseev. Yeah, sorry. So they have them now. Of course, Serbia is also very strong. So still, they have very strong teams. All right. I haven't read the Ding's Best Games book. I will check it out because as I've said before, yeah, I think people underestimate Ding. He was super strong, and yeah, people are just talking about his recent bad results, which I think is just not the right way to look on it. He obviously has some psychological problems, and yeah, it's just sad that people only look at like the bad side of things as it's usual. Yeah, tomorrow both chess teams will meet the prime minister, and more prize money to be awarded. Yeah, I mean this is what I'm saying. Yeah, like India is now. Let's put it in as an example. Yeah, like India, they are supporting it like crazy. Yeah, like if you win a tournament like this, you will get super like insane insane rewards, also financially. Yeah, so that's also motivation for the players, I would guess. Favorite moment of the Bermuda party? Hi, Robbie. You weren't there, which was sad. Hard to say. I mean, I wasn't drinking there, as I've said before, so it made the experience a bit different than usual. Honestly, I liked the most just to meet some friends and just to talk with them, which was also nice there because there were two clubs where there was loud music, but you could step outside and just talk to people in peace. So this is what I've enjoyed most, I think. Have you played against any Turkish players over the board? Funny story, because I actually played Erdogmus Yagis Khan in 2021, I think, or 2022, when he was like 9 years old. I think 9 or 8 years old, and he was like 2000 rated. I came to the game. It was first round of the tournament. I thought like, okay, first round, it's easy win. Some kid, 2000 rating should be easy, and he completely blew me off the board. I was back then like 2-4-80, 2-4-75, and he completely blew me off the board. And in the end, I was lucky to save a draw somehow. I was super disappointed. How can I not beat this guy? And okay, now I see what potential he has. So yeah, I've played Erdogmus, I've played Wahab Sanal, I think. So I've played some Turkish players in the past. What is the book that inspired you the most? I've already said before, I really like the Anand Files. So I really encourage you guys to check it out. The Anand Files, great book. I'm staring at the Kramnik tab. Yeah, I will stop now a bit. We'll get into the Kramnik video. I've picked out one moment from the video, which I want to get into. I hope you can still see me now. And just 1 second. All right, I think it works. So let's have a listen.
Of course, there was no idea to disturb your team or to, I think players, they didn't even know what is happening. I was trying, that nobody sees what is happening, but I got tired of this daily, the same story, people with phones, watching video. I mean, I just not serious. Yeah, so, but that's it. I mean, I just hope that people will not try to, in general, to misunderstand and then to try to tell that I'm accusing this again. No, it's just I'm accusing organizers sometimes for being very, very, like not paying any attention to it.
Yeah, and this is what I've mentioned before, yeah, that some players were not players, pardon me. Some people were just in the playing hall, and they had just phones on them, and yeah, were just texting next to the boards. They had the phone on them. Often it was media people or just some people that were let in. And I think, like, people call Kramnik crazy, but I completely agree with this on him. It's completely unacceptable that any people be let into the playing hall with mobile phones. Because at the end of the day, this is how cheating can happen. Of course, even if it's like some trusted person by like a fair play officer, still, like, it just cannot happen. The whole tournament hall should be a safe space for players, which yeah, which is connected to having just no mobile phones there. So this is just yeah, what I also think about the whole thing.
I mean, this is not correct. I mean, they have to be more serious. That's all, basically, about the story, and I don't think it's actually too big story. Yeah, maybe FIDE didn't like it, but okay, I just had no choice, because when you speak about people, they just like, because I told once to the arbiter, okay, please tell that this woman takes the phone. And then he comes and he told me, yeah, of course she should not, but she has a FIDE badge. I don't know who is she, so she can have. I said, come on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, like Kramnik put it Kramnik put it absolutely perfectly. Yeah, people are let in because they have a FIDE badge or a media badge, but still, it just cannot happen. Yeah, like even if you trust a person, there should be no mobile phones under any circumstances in the playing hall. Of course, the only exception, which again, now I a little bit maybe disagree with Kramnik about the whole Chess India thing, because Chess India did have the phones in the playing hall, but then later on it turned out that they did not have SIM cards. I think they didn't even have any apps on the phone. Yeah, of course you could argue that instead of using phones, they could just use a camera, which I also agree on. Like, you don't have to use a mobile phone to record the games. You could use a camera. But again, if the phones are thoroughly checked, there is no SIM card in there. Yeah, it should be all right, in my opinion. Like, yeah, this is just how I think. Of course, it would be even better if there are absolutely no phones, just cameras. But yeah, I mean, this is this I think you can still argue about.
So what? I can get a FIDE badge. I'm, by the way, in one of the commission. And so what? I can have my phone with me. What is this? I mean, why somebody gets permission phone, somebody doesn't? I cannot even have SIM card. I mean, it's like we need unified rules, very clear, like very strict, clear, and everybody knows what is happening, because not this mess, yeah? But otherwise, actually, I think the Olympiads was quite well organized, so. And it was very tough time, a lot of work for me, but in general I enjoyed.
You worked very.
Yeah, I agree with this on him. I mean, there were mostly, it was again very well organized. Of course, there were some things which can be done better, which is like this in any major event. You cannot have everything perfect. But yeah, I just really want to stress this point, yeah, that just no persons can have mobile phones in the playing hall, no matter who they are. Yeah, I think even Kramnik said, even if you're president of the world, yeah, you just cannot have a mobile phone in the playing hall. I think this described it just the best.
Hard, yes, on this role.
What about watches? Were any players wearing them in the playing hall? No, watches are already not allowed for like 3-4 years now. Which I think is also right. Even the analog watches are not allowed. It's fine for me anyway. I don't need a watch during the game, so this I can really understand. And in general, the checking before the game was quite thorough. You couldn't have a watch, of course. You couldn't take any pens. You could basically not take anything. even what Kramnik said is that he could not even take his e-cigarette, and then he was just annoyed, yeah, that people can some people can take the phone into the playing hall, and he cannot even take his e-cigarette into the playing hall. So again, I agree with him on this. Yeah, like on some things they were very extreme, which I think when it comes to anti-cheating, it's better to be very extreme than to be somewhat yeah, just to be careless. But yeah. Cameras can't operate for 6-7 hours continuously. Yeah, that was also the point I think Shaga Shah made in the video, which again, therefore I can understand they use phones. I guess you could make it work somehow. I don't know if you have some adapter where you could power up the camera for longer time, or you have some special camera which has a more endurable battery. But it was not. I'm not critiquing Chess India in any way. I'm a big fan of Chess India, also of Shaga Shah. I think what they're doing is fantastic, and in no universe imaginable I would accuse Chess India of doing anything with cheating. I think they're one of the most correct and nice enterprises in chess in general. But it's just about principle in general. Which I think is also Kramnik's motive in most cases. Yeah, I hope I didn't miss any questions. If I did, please let me know in the chat again. I see some more things. Yeah, phones are better than cameras to shoot. Yeah, again, I'm not an expert on this. Yeah, I just get the point that there are some concerns by Mr. Kramnik now that phones can't technically receive some signals or whatever. Yeah, and cameras could not. So I can understand it from this regard. But again, I want to clarify that I'm not at all accusing someone of anything here. Yeah, so I just really need to clarifies this.
Well, I mean, I do when I do, yeah. So, and since we had tough matches, we played with many strong teams, and sometimes I had to prepare 3 guys actually. I mean, like in one evening and morning and night. So yeah, some nights, I mean, last 3 nights I slept 3-4 hours each night, not more. So yeah, I think I will have a good sleep tonight.
And Vladimir, you when you
Okay, I think we got through the best part. I can read, but don't want to, as it's against his agenda. I don't have an agenda in this whole topic. My only agenda is that chess is safe for the players and there is no cheating. Again, I was not accusing anyone of something. I just laid out the point that maybe it could be possible to have cameras instead of phones. Of course, I'm not an expert, and yeah, I didn't know that maybe there's some issue with cameras being not able to operate for such a long time. But yeah, all I'm saying is just I can somewhat understand some of the concerns. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Are you happy with India win? Yeah, I mean, I really, I absolutely respect all of the players from India. They're all very likable characters, very hard workers, very talented. So both in the men's and the women's section, I don't see any team that would have deserved it more than them, in my opinion. Have you ever had suspicion about any opponents you faced in any tournaments? I was never a suspicious character when it comes to chess. Maybe you could also call it naive. But I never even tried to think about it that my opponent would cheat, because I think it simply destroys the fun of chess in general. Yeah. I was board 3. I was actually board 4 of my team. I would have faced Arjun, or I could have faced Arjun or Hare Krishna or Vidit. That's true if we would have played against India. Okay, my honest thoughts, if we would have played against India, I think it would would be an absolute massacre. Like it would be a miracle if Austria would not lose against India. I just have to lay out the facts like this. There's nothing I can add to this. It's not the best mobiles are used in almost every match he played for the last 10 years, but he only raised when it's... Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch all of it. I mean, I don't know if Kramnik was actually like suspecting Kukic of anything. I mean, I honestly cannot believe like it's just so obvious that Kukic is just a pure chess talent, like, and that he would never cheat in any universe. At least this is my honest opinion about it. So I also cannot imagine that Kramnik has actually thoughts about this, but yeah, again, I have no idea what's going on in Mr. Kramnik's mind, so maybe not. So I like positional chess more than tactical chess. Great question again. Which lifestyle changes you set up attributed most to your increase in chess strength? Again, another great question. I would say that I guess working out on a regular basis. I started going to the gym when I was 15, and I've kept it up since, tried to work out regularly. So this helped me a lot, also with endurance during the game. Because if a game takes like 5-6 hours, you can easily just collapse because you're very tired. And if you are in better physical shape, it will just help you to be able to perform just way longer. Highest rated player I've played. Highest rated player I've played and beat, I think it was Gawain Jones when he was rated like 2690 or 2698, something like this. And strongest player I've played, I think it was Maxim Vashila Graf when he was still 2780 or something, back in 2016, I think. Do you enjoy playing against much better opponents? Yeah, I do actually, because it's just way less pressure for me. If I play against weaker rated opponents, then I just feel more of this pressure that I have to win, and then sometimes it can go in the wrong direction. Yeah, I totally agree that that Vishy Anand was the kingmaker, as you put it, for Indian chess. Yeah, he's just the godfather, as I would say, and huge motivation for all of the upcoming players. Which chess YouTube channels I like in addition to Chess India? I've enjoyed Chess24 back in the day when they did this opening series with Jan Gustafsson. I mean, I would say Chess India is my favorite, since they're just documenting so many interesting things. So Chess India, I guess, is the first. Yeah, Chess24 back in the day. Sometimes I watch some Gotham Chess because it's just really entertaining, but not that often. Yeah, I guess I would say I mostly watch Chess India. Yeah, thoughts on Kukic versus Ding in the World Championship? I've already talked about it before. For now, I think Kukic has to be the clear favorite, at least with the current situation. What has helped the most in chess improvement? Solving tactics, reading books, watching video courses. For me, it was reading books, I think. Again, Artur Yusupov and Mark Dvoretsky books, very nice. Also, what I can recommend is to check out the video series. Back in the day, it was on Chess24, but since the Forge now, it's on chess.com. They have, if you're a premium member, you can watch these videos for free. They have even one with Mark Dvoretsky, or even two, and also with Artur Yusupov. So they were very helpful for me personally. Whom will you support at World Championship? I never really supported anyone in a World Championship match. Again, I really like Ding because he's just a very likable person, but also Kukic is just super talented, hardworking. So in this World Championship match, it's hard to pick anyone. I would just pick the person that that performs better and plays better chess. Okay, I think there are no more questions for now, so I would like to go to another clip which I've which I've prepared, which was our match against Norway. And again, ChessBase India recorded this very nicely, our match. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. And I just want to give you some brief thoughts about the match overall, since I was playing, I mean, this was board 2, which you can see here. And here was board 1, where Magnus Carlsen was playing, as you will see now. So yeah, here you can see just the game. Magnus Carlsen, of course, you know, and this is our board, Valentin Dragnev. And on board 1, Magnus more or less convincingly won with the with the black pieces. The backstory of this was that back in 2023, we played against Norway in the European Team Championship, where actually there we beat Norway 2.5 to 1.5. I was the one to score the decisive point there. And in this game, back in 2023, Valentin actually made a draw with Magnus, also with the white pieces. And he was even winning in that game. So I think Norway for sure did not underestimate us, since we beat them in the previous year. But this year, as you've seen, the match finished 3 to 1 for them. I still won my game in this round, but all the other games finished in Norway's favor. Yeah, I'll just jump a bit further. Also, some more question again about Ding Kukic World Championship match. It's hard to predict anything. Again, Kukic is the favorite now, but I hope that Ding will get somewhat back to his form, that we will at least see an adequate World Championship match. So this is what I hope for. How many simultaneous boards can you play blindfolded? I've never tried actually to play like a blindfold simul. I guess it would also depend how long the game goes and how strong my opponents are, but I guess I would manage a couple of boards, maybe three, 4. Maybe it again depends on how long the game goes. So yeah, this is what I wanted to jump to. Yeah, here you can see me. I was playing the game against Grandmaster Amar. And this was just funny for me. Yeah? I'm sitting here. The greatest player of all time is just casually walking next to me, and yeah, just watching the games. As you can see, now our board 4 has just lost the game, unfortunately. You just saw Magnus's impression. And there, I think he was less happy to see their position, because I think at that point I was already better, somewhat. Yeah, our board 2 has also finished at that point, so they kind of already won the match. Magnus was winning at that position, and our board 2 lost, so it was already 2-1 for them, 2-0 for them at that point. Dragnev's strongest Austrian player ever? No, I would still say Markus Raga for sure. Markus Raga, again, also in Austria, is kind of the godfather of chess, because he was the first ever to reach a rating of 2700, and Dragnev is still needs to go that far. His highest rating was 2600, and he's a super strong player, of course, but still to reach 2700, it's like another step to get to that level. Yeah, Raga was around 2700 at one point. Yeah, so Magnus, as you can see, is already kind of waiting to for Dragnef to resign, and then he resigns. Yeah, and then the match is already 3-0. Let's just go a bit further. Yeah, again, Magnus was watching. I mean, that's also like a pretty cool feeling, yeah? Like, you have the greatest player of all time just casually watching your game. He was checking a bit more, and then at some point he lost interest. I mean, they've already won the match, so yeah, then he just continued walking onwards. He checked a bit more. Didn't look so happy with the position. Yeah, I played a pretty good game, I think, in this match, just as I did the year before against Norway. So I think actually for the Norwegian players, it's a bit harder with the pressure. I mean, you have Magnus Carlsen sitting next to you, and you have this expectation that the team of Magnus Carlsen should perform very well, which then puts this huge amount of pressure on the players, I think. And for us, it's more like we have nothing to lose. If we lose against Magnus Carlsen's team, it's kind of expected anyway. So yeah, I think it's harder for the Norwegian players than it was for us. Yeah. Yeah, he watched for quite some time, yeah. Here I was already close to winning. Later on I kind of missed the win, but then won the game after like a 5-hour fight still. So yeah, I mean, that was just a cool experience. It was also the last time already where we played against Norway, where it was a similar thing. But yeah, it's just always, it's just an honor, basically, you can say, yeah, to play against Magnus's team, to have him watch your game. So it's just an experience I think I will never really forget. Yeah, very, very cool experience overall. Yeah, Raga, let's get back to Markus Raga. He hit 2700. Yeah, he dropped his rating a bit. He's also a father of two, as Fred mentioned. So it's also hard to keep up this level if you have two small children, and you have to spend, or I mean, he wants to spend time at home with his kids, which is also great. And then you have less time to work on chess, and it's just hard to keep up that level if you have to manage chess and family at the same time in most cases. And yeah, as Fred also said, I guess this is also one of the reasons he doesn't want to be gone for too many times for chess tournaments. I think he makes like an exception for the Olympiad, since it's such an important event. But other than that, I don't think he's playing many tournaments at all during the year. Which was the best game of the Olympiad? I mean, I think you can just watch all of Arjun's and Kukish's games, and all of them are just super high quality overall. So hard to pick a best game, I would say. I also want to like give an honorable mention to Valentin Dragnov, our board one. Let me pull up that game. It was in the men's section from round 6, I believe, where we played against Poland. He played against Jan Krzysztof Duda, and he had a losing position here, as you can see. But in this moment, here Duda missed something. He played King H2. Apparently, King takes F1 was winning. When after Queen D1 check, White can just block the check, Bishop E1, and he's an exchange on the pawn up, and the King on F7 is pretty weak. Maybe Duda thought about Bishop F5. What happens here? Just Rook D2? Yeah, Rook D2. But Duda played King H2, and here he missed Queen takes H3, which was a fantastic save by Valentin. Only move in the position, giving the queen up for a pawn, and after takes Rook F2. Now Duda has to go for the repetition. He cannot take on G4 because Rook takes H3 is checkmate. He could technically play on with King G1. I did not check this to the end, but it only seemed like White was risking. I think Rook G2 was the point, and after King F1, Bishop H3. Yeah, here Black was already winning, and if King H1, still Bishop H3, and yeah, it looks pretty risky for White already. Knight F3 is threatening with checkmate. So then Duda decided to make the draw here with the repetition. So just an honorable mention. Again, pretty cool moment from this match. Why did Alexenko not play for Austria? It's just not time yet. I think it still needs some time to get in the team if he wants to play. I also don't have that much information of all of this, so I hope next year it will be possible, but yeah, we will see. Carlson also came to see my game a few years ago. He played against his father. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's also a nice moment there. Yeah, Arjun is crazy. Yeah, for sure. Gukish is crazy too. They're all great. I'm sorry, my stream picture was in the way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just mentioning the Dragnov game, Dragnov against Duda, this queen sacrifice. So if anyone is interested and didn't see the board, feel free to check it out. I wanted to go to another video. I think it was this one. So let's just jump right into it. It was about some SIM card drama. So let's watch it.
Together with the Fair Play team at the Chess Olympiad, Ojana and Andrew, there have been certain instances in this tournament, to be precise, 2 of them, with regards to SIM cards. And I think the games ended and then the decision was reversed. Could you tell us a bit about what happened there and just help us to understand this situation better?
According to the fair play regulations that are in place for this event, we are forbidding any electronic device and item that can potentially be used for cheating or for getting external help, and also that is aligned with the laws of chess according to 11.3.2 from the laws of chess, where it is mentioned that any electronic device should be, unless there is a specifically, and it is specifically approved from the arbiter or from the fair play team, it cannot be allowed inside the venue. So in that case, we had one case. The first case was between the Egyptian player, where he, in a post-game thorough check, we found a SIM card, not only one.
Yeah, so just to let you know, they had some fair play checks after the game as well. So they said, at least that's what they said, that these fair play checks are mostly on a random basis. So just some people are randomly chosen after the game to go through like a more thorough anti-cheating check, where I will be able to explain it to you in a great detail, because they checked me 2 times. I'm not joking, they took me for this fair play check 2 times consecutively. So it was after round 5 and after round 6, I believe. So two times in a row. And I will tell you, this anti-cheating fair this anti-cheating control there is quite unpleasant. First of all, they have 3 devices. One is some, I don't even know what kind of scanner it is. I even have some health concerns because you don't know what kind of X-ray or whatever it is. They get very close to your ear. They even almost touch you with this. They scan everything, like your whole body. They get very close to the ear. Then they also pack out some sort of magnet and almost put it inside your ear to, I don't know, see if there is some magnetic thing in there, which then would, I guess, detect it. Then there was, I think, one more device, and then I had to open my belt, and they were like inspecting my private area there almost. I mean, so it was unpleasant. I mean, I can understand like the concerns that players can hide devices anywhere, but you have to see it from a player's perspective that it's kind of like a bit too much. Yeah, like if they check, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's not that pleasant for the players. Yeah, that's just what I wanted to say about these checks. So that's what she was talking about. Just one more good question by KG. What about those people sitting in the stands watching? I guess you mean the visitors. I mean, this was like pretty far away from the playing area. I guess they could signal with like laser or something. But I think someone commented before that even the visitors were checked for electronic devices, so I guess then it's harder to be able to cheat in that regard as well. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
There were 4, and also there was a memory card. So that game was declared a loss.
It was not inside a phone. It was just.
It was only inside the wallet.
So yeah, they detected after this fair play check. I think it was a SIM card. In the wallet of a player, and therefore the game was therefore he lost the game even though he technically won the game. Yeah, you can again argue about this, like how are you supposed to cheat if you only have a SIM card on you? Again, I'm not an expert in this. I don't think it's I don't see how it's possible, but yeah, I mean, let's continue watching and see what they have to add.
But still, those are considered as forbidden items, so the game was declared loss, and the result was reversed. But there was no appeal in that situation, in that case, and the result stood according to the fair play and chief arbiter's decision. The next day, we had another case with Argentinian GM, where also again in post-game check we found one SIM card, which was opened. Of course, I mean it was in the wallet, and there were marks used. But then, of course, every player has the right to appeal, and then the appeals committee is coming into force. So the game was declared loss. The result was reversed, and then the appeal committee decided that the SIM card is not device, but only part of the device, and then in the appeal stands that it was in an unopened state, the SIM card, which was not correct. The SIM card was opened, and they returned the decision, overruled the decision, and of course the result of that game stood as it was initially. That came with some questions, of course, about our actions and how we act, and are we being fair or not? Which, of course, I mean, Fair Play Commission wants to prevent any unfair behavior, and of course to prevent cheating happening, especially on this high-level event.
So the understanding is, in the first case, it was given as an electronic device, but in the second one, it wasn't considered. It was considered part of an electronic. So both decisions were kind of different.
You know, in the first case, there was no decision because the decision was not appealed, so there was no appeal.
The decision was made by the fair play.
Yes. And on the second case, because there was appeal, and then the decision came from the appeals committee that it was not considered as a cheating case, but still for us, it is important for people to understand that if we catch forbidden item, it is not that we declare the player as a cheater. The player can continue from the next day to continue to play the game.
Okay, I will get into this into this now. Let me just see if there were any more comments. Yeah, I remember hearing a story of an arbiter slapping David Howe's rear end. Yeah, I mean, these sorts of things, they just cannot happen. Yeah, but I mean, these fair play checks here, I like what they're doing. They should be very careful, but I think it's also important to somehow like respect, I would say, maybe players' privacy. Yeah, you could even go that far. Yeah. What I want to add to this, I still did not fully understand it yet. So how I understood it was that the same thing happened in two cases, and in the second case, which she just explained now. By the way, this is Bojana Bejatovic, who is, I believe, the fair play, like the chief fair play person there. So she's in charge of the fair play, and I think now, if I understood correctly, was that basically the same thing happened twice, but since the second person appealed the decision, then this annulment of the game was taken back. So again, it's like you just have to make an appeal and then everything gets erased. Like I don't fully get it. But I mean, I guess this is how the justice system in general works. So again, I'm not enough of an expert there, but it all seems a bit yeah, just strange to me a little bit. What rank did Austria get? We finished in 32nd place. Let's see. I went to the Bermuda part, yeah. There's also the recap on the channel after round 6. Feel free to check it out. I think I answered everything now. Oh. Did you pick up any girls at the Olympiad? No. I have a girlfriend, so I'm a very loyal person. I would never do that. Okay, that's a nice one as well. In German, but I will translate it. After big soccer events, it's usual to like build a dream team, and the person who commented it said he would choose Kukic, Abdustorov, Valle, Arigaisi, and Vokidov. I mean, I would add Magnus Carlsen in the mix, maybe. I mean, he performed only 2800 in this event, which is probably not the performance he was wishing for, but still, having a dream team and not putting Magnus in there seems a bit too much for me. I'm not on Twitch, by the way. I'm only streaming on YouTube and making content on YouTube for now at least. Okay, let's see what else they have to say.
Rule. If you're breaking the rule, bringing in forbidden item, which was mentioned at the technical meeting, the penalty for that is loss of a game. But the player from tomorrow can continue play the games. So there are two different aspects, which I believe people are getting mixed. So just I wanted that to be clarified. It is not cheating case, but
you have to choose one from each board. Okay, then it makes sense. Yeah, of course. I mean, I apologize for my stupidity. Yeah, if you have picked Magnus, then you have to leave Kukic. Yeah, okay. I mean, then I would just pick. I guess I would just pick everyone that won the board prize. I would say, yeah, because they had the highest performance. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you for pointing that out.
But bringing in forbidden item, that according to the regulations and also at the technical meeting, it was mentioned that they are forbidden, and the list cannot be so detailedly prescripted. So of course we can miss something. I mean, if you start to list any electronic devices, we can miss everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's why it is. It was even in our regulations. It is mentioned any unnecessary item that, according to our opinion, it can be used for some transmission.
But in this particular case, if the Egyptian team had a
do you think FIDE are going through enough rating deflation or inflation and a large amount of underrated juniors? I guess you mean doing enough. Hard to say. I mean, it's just really tough to win rating nowadays. And the whole situation is a bit strange overall, but I don't see what they can improve. I mean, one thing I would like to say is that one problem is, I think, if let's say Kasparov plays a game now, plays a rated game, and wins it, then he's technically, I think, number 2 of the world. And okay, as much as I can give respect to Kasparov, one of the greatest players, probably next to Magnus, he's simply not the second best player in the world nowadays. I think there's no one arguing about this. So I think what FIDE could introduce is some thing which I think is also in tennis, that your more recent performances are also used to calculate your rating. So let's say the performance of the year so far is somehow included in your rating, because if someone doesn't play and simply keeps the rating, I think it's a bit unfair. Or if someone plays a small amount of games and still keeps the rating, I think it's just a bit unfair. So I think this is something which could be an improvement of the overall situation. Which Olympiad was the best according to you? This was only my second Olympiad. I've only played in Chennai 2 years ago, and I've liked both of them. They were both, of course, very different. One in Hungary and one in India. But what was very nice about India was the general fascination by the public, because there were always a lot of people there to watch, to see the players arrive to the playing hall and so on. There were also many people like this in Budapest, but in Chennai it was just overwhelming, the support of the locals, I would say. But both Olympiads were great. Min Lee had such an underrated event. In general, I would say that Vietnam had a great event, which was a bit surprising since they have Le Quang Liem, who is an absolute top player. But after that, the second board is like 2,630, and then under 2,600, and the last two boards are, I think, around 2,400. So they played. I think they won against Poland, probably against some other strong nations as well. So yeah, shout out to Vietnam for their great performance. I think in the end they did not keep up their great performance, but there were some matches which they won very, very surprisingly. That's for sure. React to more chess presented videos and collab with Shagar Shah. Yeah, I mean, if someone knows Shagar Shah and if you're friends with Shagar Shah, yeah, don't hesitate to ask him if he wants to collab with an Austrian GM. Would be my pleasure. Did I expect that any team will win with such dominance? Not really, honestly. Before the event, I was, okay, probably many people will say this, but before the event, I was already kind of thinking that India is the clear favorite. But that they would win with such a dominance, I totally did not expect. Yeah, they are the real deal. The hype is real, that's for sure. How did Kukic hide his prep according to you? That's a great question. I haven't thought about that actually. Yeah, so for people that don't know, I mean, Kukic is playing the World Championship match, and for sure he started his preparation already many months ago after he won the candidates. And therefore he doesn't probably want to show all of his ideas, which he has planned for the World Championship match. But as Korchnoi once said, I think Korchnoi said it, that if you have a good idea in the opening, you should play it because you can always find a new one. So maybe Kukic did it like this, or he just yeah, played some ideas which are not as good as the ones for the World Championship match. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Knockout tournaments in chess. Knockout tournaments are great, especially for the viewers. It's very exciting. I really enjoyed playing the World Cup last year. It's just very expensive because you have to pay more prize money and so on. But from a pure excitement perspective, I think knockout events are fantastic. That's for sure. Vietnam defeated Uzbekistan as well. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, Vietnam had some insane matches. They played some great matches. I have eligibility to transfer my federation from England to Jersey. Should I do it? Get a better chance of playing at the Olympiad. My rating is about 1800 FIDE. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do so. If I may ask, like, how is it? I'm not an expert on when it's possible to change federations. So I'm assuming you have like a family there or living there. So then, okay, why not? Yeah, if you have no disadvantages and you want to play for the Jersey team, then I think it makes sense. Yeah. So Vincent Keimer said the same thing about the chess craze in India on German TV. Yeah, Vincent, by the way, great guy. I really like him. Spoke to him sometimes. Very nice guy, super strong player. Just a shout out to Vincent Keimer, Germany's #1. How is it making a living from chess? Do you play open tournaments or for prizes or mainly coaching? Yeah, I've gone into this already before. It's very tough to make a living from playing these open tournaments in general. I would say I do like half of my money from playing leagues and tournaments, and the other half from coaching and doing courses, I think. So yeah. Yeah, chess has a huge popularity in India and EU not so much. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also coming in Europe due to the chess boom, but in India it's definitely way more popular. That's true. Yes, I'm going to the World Rapid and Blitz Championship this year, happening in New York. Really looking forward to it. It's always between Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, one of the highlights of the chess year. Really looking forward to that event. Yeah, I've already saw this question before. How good do you think the Swiss system is? Sorry for not answering it before. Yeah, I'm also not smart enough to come up with a better system. I think it's the best there is, honestly. Like, I haven't thought about it that much, what you could improve. But it kind of makes sense that that the stronger matches are only later on in the tournament. I don't see a much better way to handle the situation. Yeah, thank you. Congrats on finishing in top 15 of your board. Yeah, we went through that before. Yeah, quite happy about my individual performance. Do players use only one opening in World Championships? Great question. It generally depends. Like, I think nowadays in World Championship matches, people are switching a lot in openings just to make the preparation for the other side harder. I remember Magnus, I think in his match against Jan from, who was it, 2016? I don't remember. 2018 maybe? I think it was 2018. I think he played, or against Fabiano, I think it was. Fabiano in 2016. I think with White, he played in the first 4 games, he played another move. He played e4, d4, c4, and knight f3 in the first 4 games. So coming with complete surprise for Fabiano. And also to test him what he has planned against all of these openings. But yeah, I think we will see mostly some switching, because if you always play the same opening, it will just make the preparation for the other side way easier. Cooker's school gave him a Mercedes-Benz. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying before. Yeah, they support it like crazy. Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, which is not as often happening in Europe, I think. Is this only in English or also German chat? I would say it's only an English chat, but if someone decides to ask an interesting question in German, I will just translate it and answer it in English. But yeah, since I think most of you guys are speaking English and not German, I will try to continue the stream in English. In India, when you cross 2400, you have full support. That's news to me. Maybe someone from India can give us some insight. In India, when you cross 2400, you have full support. Is that correct? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, Carlsen played the Philidor to beat Dragunov, that's true. Favorite chess website? I've already shouted out 2700chess.com, which I really like, where you can see the live ratings. That's a great website. Also, of course, Lead Chess. Also chess.com, great for playing online. Was it 2018, Fabiano? Yeah, I've started to mix up. It was probably 2018 now. Any apps, websites where it explains every move and motive behind move? I think Aim Chess is there. I think it was Aim Chess. I haven't used it myself, but some people told me that it could be useful, so you could check it out. Do you think Austria is doing well in securing chess players for the next generation, getting young people to play? There's a lot of youth work being done in Austria, like some programs, also like women's chess programs, which is always nice to see, just to support the women's chess in Austria. So I think we have some good work there. Hopefully, many more young players will emerge from Austria. Yeah, so I'm guessing in the south of India, chess is way more popular. Yeah, I've heard about it. Also, Hare Krishna told me that in the north of India, chess is probably less popular. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think if Ding has any chance? Not if he's playing how he has been playing, but if he somehow magically gets back to his form from 3-4 years ago, then he surely has a chance. Yeah, great question. How worried were you about the floods in Austria and the flood that threatened Budapest? Let's get back to my channel, and I will briefly show you one part of the video. Where was it? At some point, I think I mentioned the flooding situation.
Against Magnus Carlsen's team, and Magnus is also playing.
Yeah, it was here. Huh? Yeah, so here, as you can see, so for those who don't know, there was a huge flood in Europe in general. Water levels were rising like crazy, and in our hotel, which was next to the island, which was on the island next to the Danube, the water levels were rising very, very rapidly, and here you can see they already put up some sandbags and here see some people working. They were putting up sandbags every day, which was a very long stretch, like for I don't know how, it was probably like 2 kilometers or something. They put up these bags. So yeah, I was worried. Also, there were some rumors that we have to change hotels in the worst case, but then luckily the water levels stopped rising at the end of the tournament. It was very close. Like I was walking next to it, and it was still maybe 20-30 centimeters when then it would flood. But yeah, they took precautions. They put up this blockade. So yeah. Any young Austrian chess prodigies for the future? I'm actually coaching one very promising player from Austria. His name is Peter Balint. He's now, I think, 13 years old and has a rating of 2350. And yeah, we also have Lukas Dotza, who is, I think, the same age and has 2400. So these two, I think, are now the biggest talents. Yeah, I really hope they will continue doing as good as they've done in the future. They took down Aim Chess. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, was it maybe some other website? Yeah, sorry, I'm not really using any of them, so I'm not a big expert on that. More companies are willing to support now, and also there's Help Chess Foundation by Chess India. Yeah, I mean that's a great thing. Yeah, if people don't have a lot of money to afford coaching or also chess tournaments, like people don't mention this often enough. Chess tournaments are very expensive. Like you have to travel sometimes around the globe and then have to pay for a hotel as well, pay for food, pay for the tournament entry sometimes. So that's a great thing that there are foundations like this to help players to be able to play chess on a high level. A video on queen endgames. If it's requested enough, then I will look into it. But very, very complicated topic, Queen endgames. 1600 study chess for middle game. Any books? As I've mentioned before, Artur Yusupov's books are great. Mark Dvoretsky. I'm not sure if it's adequate for a 1600 level, but I would look into it. So yeah, other than that, 1600 rated books. Let me think. I think there are some new releases by New in Chess, like some tactical 100 tactical patterns you must know, things like this. I would have a look at. Why did Alexenko not play? I'm not sure. You would have to ask the federation. I'm not fully up to date on that matter. Maybe the change did not fully like go through yet, and they are still in contact on how it's going. So yeah. Yeah, Indian state governments and state oil. Yeah, they sponsor. Oh wow, they sponsor IMs and GMs. I thought they mostly sponsor GMs, but that they sponsor IMs is surprising to me. No, I was not the one who rode the bike to Budapest. It was our board one, Valentin Dragnev. It was our board one. Dragnev rode from Vienna to Budapest with a bike. Yeah, Valle Gukesh game was very good. That was a great game. Unfortunately, Valle blundered in the end. He played a good game, but yeah. Yeah, knights are always dangerous, it's true. Chess is popular in whole India. But the atmosphere of chess in South India is better, you're saying. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's also great. Yeah, how is Gukesh going to drive a Mercedes on the streets of India? Yeah, that's fantastic. By the way, here is the position which I think Magnus was walking next to, which you can see now. Which I had the white pieces against Amar Elham. That's why I guess Magnus was looking not so happy, because my position was just super nice. Yeah, Lukas Dotza doing very well now. I think he has some norms as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new generation coming in Austria. Hopefully it will continue as it did. Chessable and their learning method. Yeah, another great question, guys. You're asking only good questions. I really love you as a community because they're only smart questions, and yeah, just keep it up. Chessable. Okay, I'm kind of biased because I'm also making a course for Chessable. I think if you use it correctly, then it's good. But if you only use it to like learn openings by heart, then I think it's not that great, because it will just stay in your memory for some time and then it will just go out. Like when you're studying for school, it's basically the same. You study for an exam, then you forget it, and then you basically never, then you never think about it for the rest of your life. So you need to study it correctly. Other than that, it's a great learning website, but people just need to study it the right way. That's my take on it. Wow, Pranit Vupala got $500,000. That's crazy. In Telangana. Okay. That's crazy. I mean, the support in India is fascinating. Linda is asking, do you have days when you get tired of chess, or you love it so much that you just enjoy looking at it every day? I don't look at chess every day. There are some days where I have other things to do as well. I also want to just stay physically fit. I like to work out almost every day. I like to keep up to date with the news and to read some books on interesting topics, just to educate myself further. So I don't have chess every day. Like I think I'm looking at chess in some capacity on every day, but not as I don't know how to say. Not very intensely every day. Let's put it like this. Do you think getting ChessBase is worth it for a 2000 rated player? ChessBase is a great software, and I really love what they're doing. I mean, it's definitely worth it. Like, if you have the money and otherwise you would spend it on, I don't know, drugs or whatever, then please go ahead and spend it on ChessBase. But yeah, if you really don't have the money for it, I would not get it yet. I would just try to use Lichess's options to the maximum, because actually on Lichess you can do many things. There are these studies where you can save your opening files. There are many nice features on Lichess. So yeah, that's my take on it. Did you meet Ding? Is he okay? He was in my hotel. I didn't speak to him or anything. I mean, he seemed just off. Yeah, like he seemed kind of sad and yeah, just not fully right. But yeah. What do you like to play against e4? I usually played the Berlin now with black against Spanish. So I played e4, e5 against stronger opposition usually. And if I play against lower rated opponents, I usually go for the Sicilian or for the French in most cases. How do you use ChessBase Chessable correctly? I transfer lines to my ChessBase files. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that is a bit annoying with Chessable, that you cannot access the files via ChessBase, which would be very convenient. But I also understand them, because if you would be able to get the ChessBase file, then people would just share it all the time and no one would buy the course. I mean, one person would buy it and he would just sell it or forward it to other persons, to other people. So what I was just saying before is that it's important that you just not learn the courses by heart and not understand it, but you just sit down and study the courses and just yeah, not learn it by heart, but try to understand what they're trying to tell you. How do you manage your professional and personal life? Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. I'm quite busy with chess overall, and then it's often not so easy to find time for other things. But I think it's all about your time management, and if you manage your time well enough, then you have you can make time for anything. I heard some folks memorize openings on chess and don't even play chess. Okay, that's on another level, yeah. I mean, that's just crazy. Are you happy with your current rating or believe you're underrated? I'm not that happy, since, I mean, I've already mentioned before, I was on 2475 when I was, I think, 15 years old, so like 7 years ago. So I would have, of course, liked to reach 2600 by my age now, but it's just a big step to come from this 2500 to 2600, which I haven't yet managed to do. But it's just something I look forward to for the future, and it just motivates me to to keep on working on chess. Yeah, my future opponents may be watching. You can come here. I'm not scared. You can prepare against my French and against my Najdorf. I'm not scared. You can come at me. Austrian playing the Berlin, yeah? Yeah, that's ironic. You're true. That's true. What I prefer, again, in general, I'm more of a positional player, so I don't really like sharp openings in general. So I usually like to go for something more strategical. Yeah, Ding will take the championship money and retire. It's possible, yeah. Like, I also don't blame him. If chess is actually making him feel so bad, then he should just retire. Like, there's no point in continuing with this just because, I don't know, people expect it from him or whatever. If it's making him sick, then he should please stop, yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't blame him for it. How often do you study endgames compared to openings or other aspects of chess? I like to solve some endgame studies. By the way, another book recommendation, Oleg Pervakov has released recently another book on endgame studies. It's his second edition. The first one was together with Mark Dvoretsky, so I can also highly recommend this one. Guys, I will just take a quick break. I'll get some more water and I'll see you in a minute. I'll be back. All right, everyone, I'm back. I'm back in action. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Thank you for staying so long, Fulfer. Have a good night. Can you tell us your favorite lines now? Okay. What do you want to hear? Which of my opening secrets do you want revealed? Let me know. Yeah, I'll be back. I was just getting some water. I'm just realizing talking for so long is actually quite exhausting for the voice. Yeah, I think I went through most of the stuff I wanted to say about the Olympiad. SIM card stuff I've mentioned. Yeah, I just also wanted to shout out the Austrian photographer Peter Kranzl, who you can see here in the picture. He's made many very, very cool pictures from the Austrian team in general. So super cool guy, always making fantastic pictures. I just wanted to shout him out for always shooting great photos. And I also wanted to shout out our coach, Borki Predojevic, which I've mentioned before, Bosnian Grandmaster, who had a peak rating of like 2660 or something, I believe. So yeah, shout out to him for always being a great coach and preparing us in the best way possible. Okay. Yeah, this I also wanted to show, also one of Peter Kanzler's pictures, our match against Norway. Here you can see Valentin Dragnev battling out against Magnus on board 1. All right. Can you tell us your favorite lines in the Sicilian? In the Sicilian with black, I like to play the Najdorf defense, named after Miguel Najdorf. This is my favorite one. Would you ever play the King's Gambit? I've actually played the King's Gambit in, I think, 2 classical games with white, and I won both of them. So these gambits, I think they can be quite a nice surprise in some openings. And one was against Bosnian Grandmaster and very strong player, what was it? Predrag Nikolic, who was, I think, a top 10 player in the 90s or so. And yeah, against him it worked pretty well. So, I mean, usually I'm not the type of guy to play a gambit, but I think if you have the balls, then it definitely makes sense to try it out sometimes, just to surprise your opponent. Yeah, Moser might be one of my undercover rivals. Yeah, that's true. He's asking too many questions about my openings. You're right. You're right. Do you agree that the Rogozin is a very advanced opening? I'm struggling to learn it. Feels very different from Nimzo. I would say it's maybe a bit more concrete than the Nimzo, but I would say it's it can be quite similar. Let me pull up the Lichess board just to show you an example. Okay. So this is the so-called Nimzo defense with bishop b4. This is the Nimzo. And the Rogozin is after knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop b4. So I think they're actually very much alike because, for example, after knight c3, bishop b4, if white goes knight f3, now black has an array of choices. He can go b6, he can go castle, he can go c5. But with d5, you can simply transpose to the Rogozin. So this is one of the things. Also in some other lines, for example, in the Nimzo, e3 castle, knight f3. Now d5 again transposing to the Rogozin. Also this has transpositions to Rogozin. So there are many transpositions overall. So that's why I also like my my repertoire overall, which I'm giving, because it's it has many similarities overall. Another question in German. I've seen your recaps for the rounds. Very cool that you're doing a live Q&A. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching all of them. And thank you for being in the Q&A. I think it's just nice after the tournament to have like some backstories of the event. So hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, thank you for sticking around. Yeah, Niemann first, Kramnik second in Title Tuesday. I've seen it before. Kramnik was already tweeting about some cheating allegations. This is always happening on Tuesdays. I play Rook G1 against the Najdorf sometimes. Funny that you mention it, because in the 10th round of the Olympiad, I played the Najdorf with black, and my opponent played Rook G1 against me. It was against Mexico. Yeah, Gukesh got 30 elo at top board. It's absolutely insane. I've mentioned it before. The guy performed 3056 rating performance. It's completely out of this universe. Absolutely insane. Yeah, what do you think of Arjun playing the Scandinavian? This is just Arjun's style, and this is also what I like about him. He always plays this a bit dubious openings, but always has some idea in mind, and plays it very confidently, and is beating some strong grandmasters with it, as you've said, 25 to 2600. So I think this is a very nice strategy actually overall, but of course not everyone can do it, and in some cases you will be punished for it. But I think overall it can work pretty well. You should try playing with Levy or any other content creators. Then you get into the algorithm. I think, yeah, I'm always open to collaborations. So yeah, if anyone knows anyone that would be open, any content creators, I would always love to do so. Yeah, you're welcome for the answers. Greetings from Bavaria. Greetings back. How old were you when you became a grandmaster? I was, I think I was like 19. Yeah, apologies. I became a grandmaster with shortly after I turned 19, I think, like a couple of months afterwards. Do you think Fischer and Anand are the greatest because they came from non-chess countries and broke Soviet dominance? I wouldn't say this is the main criteria for being one of the greatest. Still, for me, Kasparov and Magnus are the two contenders. For me personally, Magnus, because I grew up with him, and therefore it's for me kind of harder to estimate Kasparov's dominance. But yeah, for me it's either of those two. But of course, as you've said, it's especially admirable if some players who are not that much from a chess country that break, as you've said, for example, the Soviet Union, without having any, or at least many strong players from their countries in the past. This is something very, very admirable. For example, with Anand and Fischer. Who's your chess idol? I would also pick Magnus, since he's just so good in all aspects of the games. He became a grandmaster in 2022 when he was 20. I was 19 at that point, and actually I scored my last norm in 2020. Wait, let me see. Because I was 19, I'm sure about this. Just a year. The year I was awarded the title. Yeah, I scored my last norm, I think, in 2021. But FIDE awarded the title in 2022. I think it was like this. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I scored it in 2022. Yeah, I scored it in 2022 and was awarded in 2023, I think. Maybe the other way around. I still don't remember. Yeah, Arjun is a beast. That's true. Are you friends with anybody of the Indian team? Yeah, I did commentary with Hari Krishna. What I also mentioned before is that I was actually working for Hari as a second for like 2 years. So I know Hari very, very well. Very nice guy, good friend of mine. Yeah, I'll definitely ask him if he wants to be on the channel sometime. Would be great to have him, like for like an interview. You guys could ask some questions beforehand. That would be amazing. My honest opinion on Shagar Shah, again, great what Chess India is doing. I have nothing bad to say. Chess India is doing a great job to just support chess in general and to increase the public eye on chess overall. Who was the strongest player you've beaten? I've already said it before. I think it was Gawain Jones when he was close to 2700. I think it was this, in a classical game at least. All right, guys, I think I'll end the stream. It's already close to 11 here. I had a great time. Thank you for all of you who were sticking around. Hope you enjoyed the stream. It was actually a lot of answering questions and not that much of Olympiad coverage, but I still hope that you enjoyed the stream overall. Let me know what you would like to see in the future. And yeah, for this week tomorrow I'm playing the I'm playing the CCT qualifiers tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central European time. I might do a recap on that after the event tomorrow. Let me know what you think about that. That might be cool. If I'm qualifying, if I'm doing well tomorrow, then I will also be playing in the following days in the knockout format. But yeah, let's see how it goes. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. Maybe some Blitz streams, yeah, for sure in the future. Maybe also some matches against my viewers. There's lots of things I would like to do. Again, let me know in the comments in the videos what you would like to see in the future. So yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching again, and have a great night, and see you soon. Bye, guys.